Hi, this is Katie, and thank you for joining me on the My Senses, My Space podcast. And today I wanted to talk about male wins. And when I say male, it's M-A-I-L, because we've had enough of M-A-L-E wins. Look, I love everybody, but, I'm a feminist. So anyway, moving on. If you take offense to this is not the podcast for you. So let's get back to MAIL. When you are receiving incoming mail in your mailbox, and I'm talking about physical mail in this sense, could this be applied to digital mail? I'm not sure. Let's go through it, and maybe you could kind of look at things the same way. But I'm talking about like when physical mail comes into your home and you have it in your hand, what do you do with it? And I've used this for a long time. And when I explain it to others, they're like, oh, I really like that. And so I realized I hadn't talked about it here on the podcast. So for me, I love to use like earth, natural energies to think of how to deal with making a decision in front of me. And so when I have that stack of mail, I've done nothing else but hold it in my hand. I've gotten it out of the mailbox. And I prefer to do this process before I set it down anywhere. Now, I'm not saying you have to keep it in your hands, but it does help to deal with it the immediate time that you get it. If your hands are full with kids or pets or groceries or whatever else in your life, then you're going to need to set it down. Like, I'm not trying to be unreasonable, but when you have that moment that you have all the mail in your hands, this is what you can do. So I start by looking through and thinking of earth energy. So this is, to me, I translated this into what can I recycle immediately? Are they credit card offers and coupons and ads for things and catalogs or anything like that? Can I immediately recycle or shred them? So that is the earth energy. What you have left is then a lot easier to deal with. Then you can start actually making decisions over more important items. So the next thing is, are there things here, and this means opening up the mail immediately, if you can. I know there can also be a lot of fear around opening mail. We can sometimes avoid and have some mail sitting there because we are just really afraid of the news and the news that it brings, the information that it brings. And I understand this. Sometimes it's emails I don't want to open. Sometimes it's mail I don't want to open. But the moment I know the truth, even if it's kind of labeled good or bad in my life, I feel better. I feel then that my brain can start working on ways to solve the problem, of ways to move forward in life with it. So once you open things up, the next part is, what are things in here that you can go back to recycling if there's more things that need to be recycled. But the next thing is, what can I flow into my file system? This means that sometimes these are receipts for things. Sometimes these are, there's nothing that you have to take action on them, but you just need to possibly refer to them in the future. It could be an insurance renewal, but you've already paid it, or it's new cards coming in the mail for like auto service or any kind of things that you just need to file them away. So this is the energy of water. So it's going to flow back into your file system. Now, my personal file system is actually just one box. I put anything I need to file away in one box. I do not have file folders anymore. This is what works for my brain. Because if I need to find anything in the last year, it's a big enough like bin that I can easily like pull everything out and just sort it through everything really quick. Probably the stack is at the most at the end of the year, like 2.5 inches thick. Like it's not so much that's overwhelming. I don't put like my son's school information in there. That is in a separate place because that can be a whole. I do have 2 bins. Let me clarify that. I have his school stuff on one side and then all the other house stuff on the other. And I know that I can easily go through those if I need to find like my old car insurance and just see what was the premium that we paid, whatever, it's there. And then when I file my taxes, I go through all those. I just sort them into piles, and whatever I need to keep for tax reasons, I keep there. If I have a grocery receipt that I may need to do a return for, or any kind of receipt that I might need to do a return for, I put it in there. But if I haven't done any returns by the end of the year, I get rid of them. Unless they're tax deductible type things. So this is my file system. And so I'm first earth recycle, second water flow into my bin. I just put it in my bin. Third, fire. So this is what is the really most important thing that I need to tend to right now. And usually this is a bill or just something insurance-wise or health-related. Maybe it's something for my son for school that I need to deal with right away. Like in the next week, I need to take action on this. Or 2 weeks. Your time frame is what is important to you. And that's where I put those in a place that I can process them next. It doesn't mean I'm handling it right that moment, but these are things that are on fire, need to be tended to, even if it's the next day. So then I put it into my tending place. And this is, if it's a bill or anything financial related, I put it in it's like a register. It's like, it's just a notebook, but I keep a written log of like all my transactions for our joint account. And so I put anything really important right in there. If it's more something that is health related, then I'll put it in another place where I'm tending to all my health stuff. So you could clip this on a wall or a fridge or something and have it like in plain sight if that helps you the most. But this is your fire items. And then the last part is air. And air means that you're thinking about it more in detail. Maybe you need to do some research about it. Maybe it's not a decision you can make at all right now, but it needs to go somewhere so that you can make time to do that research. And to me, then I put that in my planner because I need to plan and write some notes about it or select a time, maybe multiple times, to take a look at this. Maybe it's a bill that you're refuting. Maybe it's, I don't know. If you're refuting a bill, it may be fire, or it may be something that takes a lot longer that you need to do research on. So it's going to be up to you how you feel about whether it's something that's on fire or something that takes a little bit more research. And if you were, to me, what the defining thing is if you were to let a week go by, would that be okay for that item? A lot of things, if I'm doing research, getting an estimate for the car or, something that isn't dire, that my car's okay. I just need to put new brakes on it or something. I can research that. I can put it in my planner. I can make an appointment for an estimate, and that's more of a long-term thing. So that to me is air. But if it's a bill that I need to pay in the next week, then it goes under fire. So see if this helps. I'm just kind of thinking out loud. Could you do the same for your digital inbox? Can you look at things and go, okay, this is spam. This I can recycle. This I can totally go to the trash. So trash or spam is for earth. The water stage is archive. You're just archiving it away. You don't need it right that moment. It's a receipt for something. Maybe you'll get another notification when it ships, so you can just file this order one away. So that's water. Fire is stuff. Now in my inbox app, I have pins, but you can also do like a star. It just depends what file system you're using. You can have those. You can actually have them snooze, but I would think that would work better for air. To me, I need to see like the most important things pinned at the top. And so for mine, the fire items are pinned. And then for air, if it works for you, you can have the app snooze it and then bring it back up a week later. Or you can put it in, like many times there is an option to have from your email app to a to-do list app. And I use like an app called Todoist. You can actually have that email become a to-do item. And so to me, that means that I have a longer time to think about it and schedule it in my to-do lists. And so that's more of like an equivalent of my planner, but it's digital. So yeah, I think you can use them the same way. And another little tip for all of this is if you have a lot of mail or a lot of email, you can try to sort them by a similar kind to get through them faster. So if you have like just catalogs, or you have just health bills, or in email if you have just newsletters or just from a certain sender, you can actually process things quicker if they're in one category and you're just going through that category. And then the next day you could say, okay, now I'm going through a different category. And sometimes that can help from the overwhelm. So I'm sorry this one's a little long, but I wanted to like really explain that. And so I hope that helps you a little bit. And the next time you're checking your physical mail or email, I hope you can kind of think of these things and see if it helps you. So until next time, thank you for joining me here on the My Senses, My Space podcast.